The root of passive aggressiveness. Now, this is an attempt to understand better where does it come from and why do we do it. Now, passive aggressiveness, if we go with the word, right? So what does passive means and aggressiveness means? So the same term says it, right? So I'm being passive, but then also aggressive. Now, what I've found through my many years of experience as a therapist and a psychologist, seeing many different people from many different backgrounds, and 80 to 85% of my clients have been women. So I have a lot of experience with women. And in this case of passive aggressiveness, I have to say that in my experience with all that I just said, most of the times are women having this behavior more than men. Of course, there are some men that do it, but most of the times are women. Very common. Now, for women specifically, we do have a collective wound that has to do with the throat chakra. It has to do with communication. So I cannot speak about this subject, which is communication, because passive aggressiveness is communication, and not speak about the collective wound of women, because that will help us understand, and it will help understand ourselves. If you're a woman, understand yourself better of where is this behavior coming. Now, in a general picture, in a historical root from where we're coming from, women, we have been trained to swallow what we think, don't say what we really think, don't express our truth, don't express ourselves or emotions or thoughts, and just shut up and just swallow it. There's a lot of training in that area, conditioning for many generations, many generations, going all the way back to in the times of the witches and being burnt and being silenced, and you can't say the truth, you can express your truth. If you express your truth, you're going to be killed, literally. If you say something that which is what you really feel, you're going to be killed or persecuted. So it's that old, okay? It's coming from that time, but it has continued in its own way. It has continued in its own way. So in modern times, for example, the woman that is agreeable is more likely to get married and things like that nature. So women can be into conflict, or ladies, all these different belief systems tied to women, or how a woman should be or how she should behave. And it is all tied to having a man, or having a husband, or because if not, she's not going to be a mother, because she's not going to. So it's all this tied down to all of those things. All of that is underneath this thing with the communication. So at the end is being free to express yourself honestly. Express yourself honestly, directly, and feeling okay with what you have to say. But what you have to say comes from what you think or what you feel, and feeling that you have the right to express what you think or what you feel. So passive aggressiveness comes from, okay, I am saying this in a nice way. It seems to be passive, it seems to be peaceful, but then there's anger underneath. There's the frustration underneath. There's the energy. So the energy, that energy, which is called the aggressiveness part, which comes from anger, and frustration, that is an energy that is underneath. That's what's going to be felt, by the way. So you can say as nicely as you want, but the energy is going to be felt. That's what you feel, no matter how you say it, how nicely it sounds. So the sarcasm is part of it, right? Is in it. But passive aggressiveness is something specific, and it comes from that. It comes from if I am direct, or even from not knowing how to express your true real feelings, or how to be direct, or how to be honest, how to speak honestly. Honestly meaning this is what I feel, this is what I think, and I'm going to say it. That's it. Without filtering, without changing it in directions and being indirect all the time. Indirect is very common for women as well. So it can be a lot of miscommunication because of that. So the woman needs to realize, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing this because maybe I'm scared of how the other is going to take it, how the other is going to take it if I say no. If I say, well, I don't know. No, I don't want to go. The saying no is a huge issue for a lot of people. So that's an example. Or saying something that you don't like. This is huge for women again. Saying something that you don't like because you don't want to be difficult. This is another big wound that have been implanted in women. Oh, you're being difficult. So in society, in a lot of societies, you being difficult means that you're just expressing what you want or you don't want. And then you're being difficult because of that. Yeah, that's the reality of women in the world. It's true. So because you have been trained not to be difficult, don't be difficult, which is, it means just saying what you want or you don't want, or what you like or what you don't like. Then you're being difficult. So that's a conditioning. So because you have been conditioned, you have been trained, you have been, building these beliefs from the outside, then you have to learn a different way to express yourself. You have to learn a different way that is not so direct, or maybe it's not going to get me into a conflict because I don't want any conflict. Because if I have a conflict, or if I have, oh my God, what if the other person doesn't like that I'm going to say that, right? So let me just maybe not get into conflict. So of course, it's avoidance of conflict as well. But that avoidance of conflict comes from the fear of how I'm going to be received, how am I going to be taken, how am I going to be seen by the other side. And then before that, deeper than that, the root is that fear of actually expressing your truth. That's where it comes from. That's the real root of all of this. All the other things are consequences. But the real root is that of expressing your truth. Expressing your truth is simply, I like this, I don't like that. Can you please change this to that side? Putting your boundaries, expressing your boundaries. All of that is huge. Just expressing your boundaries, communicating your boundaries clearly without having to be passive aggressive. The passive aggressiveness is huge when you want to put your boundaries because you're not expressing and saying your boundaries clearly. So then you have to be passive aggressive and throwing the indirect things in the air because you don't want to be direct, because you're avoiding to be direct, you're avoiding the conflict, you're avoiding, oh no, I shouldn't speak, but it comes from that I shouldn't say, I feel ashamed of saying this, or no, it's wrong, or something is wrong. It's like if it's wrong that I say something that I want or don't want, or that I like or don't like. It's like an inherent feeling of wrong, like if it's wrong or I have no right to say it. So because of those really deep beliefs that come from that collective wounding in women, then we create all these other ways of saying things. Now, this is just passive aggressiveness that I'm touching into here, but there's so many other things that are touched by this collective wound in women in the throat chakra. Communication, many things that are touched with that. And this is only one side of it that I decided to speak about passive aggressiveness, which is so common in many relationships. It becomes so common that then people get used to it and it's normal, but it is not a healthy way to communicate between women or women and men or whoever, with everyone. So that is a root, the deepest root, according to my years of experience with clients, my own personal work as a woman. And yeah, if you have any questions, please put it in the comment. If you need any personal customize, professional support, everything is there, and the information. And yes, if you want any specific topics connecting with this, you can also comment, and I can guide myself with that and share more information about that. I will definitely do something else, some other video about the communication and the collective wound of women, more specifically of this area and how it affects us. And it's all with the intention of understanding ourselves better. All this is self-understanding, self-knowledge, self-healing, personal growth. Until next time, you take care. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye.